Hey everyone, today I want to go over this Honda. It is a HR216 K9VYAA, but this should work for pretty much any HRR216. The rest of the models are the same, more or less, just some I'll just have a little different features. But what we're going to work on is the self-propel. It works, don't get me wrong, but I've noticed that for one, the wheels are pretty much bald. The front ones aren't all too bad, but they could also have a little love. But the thing that's really kind of getting me is the wheels are a little sticky, especially when pushing them forward. That's not horrible, it just means it needs to be cleaned up and figured out and make sure everything's running okay. So that's exactly what we're going to do. First things first, I'm going to take these front wheels off. I'm going to put new front wheels on, and we will work on the rears. This is the front wheel, and when you do this, you're probably not going to have it lifted up, but if you do, or even if you don't, I would recommend taking something, just kind of propping it up a little bit, because it will fall. 12 millimeter. Now, let me explain why I bought all four. Technically I just needed two rears because those were the ones that were bald. I mean, this, like I said, isn't all that horrible. I mean, it's used, but it's not all that horrible. Now, the thing about that though is, one, it's going to have an obvious difference in color, and it's just going to look a little off, which, it's not the world's worst thing that could happen, but when you think about it, one rear wheel was $16.99, I believe. So I would need two. So that's $17 minus a cent, of course. So that's $34. I got all four wheels for $39. So it was literally only a couple extra bucks for all four. So that's what I did. And apparently they were told to be legit Hondas. So I was okay with that. So I'm gonna do the other side. Hondas have a very distinctive clicking when you are moving them when they're not under power. That's because the gear inside is cut out in a way where it allows you to pull on it or push it without it actually doing much of anything. I think that's what we have going on here, like a problem with one of those mechanisms. Okay, here's an important piece. This washer has a curve to it that goes first, and then the straight one. That's how it came off. That's how it's gonna go back on. This is trash. You notice the gear on this one is the same as the new one. The gear actually looks fine. They're metal though, so that's probably why. Yeah, as you can tell, it's just all kinds of dirty. This is what happens when you don't clean out the wheels. I'm gonna take an air compressor and blow all that nonsense off. Not gonna see a lot, I apologize, but I have a clip here. Just need hopefully take it off. This is the holes on this are very, very small, and this is the smallest one that I have, but it's also like wiggly and shaky and it's annoying. I'm gonna spend a little time to take that off, but we need to take off that clip. Well, I found out the reason why it has such a hard time to take off. It was kind of broken, so we were gonna have to do something like this anyway. So here's the gear, and we want to make sure that we have, see the little flat end is on your right side, and then the curved end is facing the engine, that's how you want to put it back on. This went on the outside of it. If you're unsure, there's a witness mark. And here is a little key. There should be a spring in there. I mean, spin the back wheel on the other side to kind of turn it around. Except now I can't see where it is. That's close enough. So this is an area that I don't really like to put any grease or oil or anything, because I mean, it has guards to protect it, but they're just guards. I mean, they're not going to make it completely clean. So I'm going to spend some time and take a little brake clean and clean out all the grease and the debris and dirt and oils, and go ahead and we'll put it back together once it's all clean. Here we go. So I got these as clean as possible. Put that right there. The little spring goes in the center. Then the key with the curved side goes down. It's going to have a little resistance. I like to angle it so the other side that's out is facing the mower. Now, you can, I suppose, put grease on this. I mean, I have in the past, but I just don't like to anymore because, like I said, it just attracts dirt. And I don't really like to attract dirt in places that it's going to be hard to clean, more or less. So now it is moving good. I mean, I might put a dab of grease in there, but that might be at a later point in time. That's gonna go back. I need to find a clip and then we'll continue. Hopefully this works. I found a clip that's barely big enough for this pair of pliers. There we go. Make sure it's nice and seated in there. It does appear as if it is. Perfect. So I think we are ready for the wheels. Actually, no, we forgot something vital. We forgot this piece. So that goes on before the gear does. I need to take all this off and be right back. Now this was a tad bit on the broken end, but it's how it is. It's cleaner than it was, that's better. Let's clean this up while we're at it, why don't we, you know? Get our towel, get some brake clean. I actually went to the store today to pick up some oil and some other random stuff, and I came across CRC brake clean, and in there it said non-flammable, which I'm kind of glad I noticed, because there are times when I try to start engines with brake clean, because that's the only thing I have that's convenient at the moment. So if you are also in the same habit, make sure, if you do use CRC, that it is the flammable type. Otherwise you are going to be going down a rabbit hole like you won't even need to. Now when you do that, I made sure the gears were not obstructed at all. This should just actuate the, and it does, okay. So I'm going to do the other side exactly the same. Brake clean, clean up all the parts, no grease, and when it's done, we'll see how exactly it works out. Today is just not my memory day. I forgot these washers, so I'm gonna put them back on and then put the wheel back on. I'm telling you, that's what happens when it's late on a Friday and everyone else is either working. So I have an hour or two to kill for myself. So we might as well get some work done, you know? Okay, now we should be better. Okay, now we should be ready to look at how the outcome was. Both sides are done. Now to test this is real easy. We just need to take it off the table, push it forward, and pull it back. Before, it would not want to pull back. It would, but it would drag the wheels a little bit. Oh yeah. That's a lot better. I mean, it was always going to drag a little bit no matter what you do, but it's significantly better. I'll just put it that way. So if you're having a problem where when you pull back on your mower, or if the wheels are just feeling really grimy and gooey and just nasty, or if you are to the point where you need new wheels, this is how you both replace them, and to service the gears and all the mechanism to go ahead and get it going. Well, it's a mechanism to get the self-propel to work. Now, a thing you might also look at is the belt at this point in time, because if you're having to clean it, probably need to look at the belt, just check the condition. More than likely you don't have to replace it, but you should at least check it. And other than that, the only other thing is I did look it up, and a lot of the forums, if you were to read, will say you have to put a little bit of grease on the shaft. You know, I think at that point I would just agree to disagree on that one. I don't really like doing that. I have. In fact, I think there's even videos of me doing that. But then on my personal machines, I never do. And I stopped doing that about a year or two now. And I've noticed that I don't run into the problems anymore. Like oil and grease and everything attracts, well, it doesn't attract the dirt, but it holds onto it. It just makes it disgusting. So if I can lessen that, and will it wear a little more? Maybe. But what's really going to wear? That key's not that hard to find. The gear inside, that gear, trust me, will wear a whole lot faster if there's a lot of caked on dirt. So keep that in mind too. And I've actually ran across where there was so much dirt in that spring, and that key was stuck, and the self-propel wouldn't work. And all I need to do is clean it out, and it works fine. That wouldn't have happened if there wasn't grease or oil in there, causing it to have like a hard dirt just blockage. So I'm gonna leave it at that. If you like what you see, keep watching. Definitely subscribe. I'll catch you in the next video, and have a good evening.